learn your sound. Learn how you sound in a monitor. If you're a singer and your voice is not sounding right in that monitor can be EQ'd to sound like you. So tell your engineer how you sound. Now, here's the part where I'm really going to get like in-your-face singers. When you try to describe how you sound to an engineer, you might not know how to describe that. So say you sound like this. This is the sound that comes out when you try to talk. How would you describe that sound to an engineer? Don't just say, something sounds funny with my mic. I don't have a funny setting on my board. I can't turn funny down. So explain to me what that funny is. That sounds funny. I can't turn funny down. You know what I mean? Explain it to me. Do you sound like you're in a box? Do you sound like you're in a tin can? Do you sound like you're standing in a very wide tunnel screaming from one end to the other? Do you sound like you're standing in the Taj Mahal? Do you sound like you're standing in the trunk of a Honda Civic and all you hear is bass? Explain how you sound is something that sounds relative. I had a person tell me one time that he sounded blue. I, to this day, have no idea how to EQ a color, but some people do. If blue means something to you, what does blue mean? Does blue mean you sound melancholy? Does blue mean you sound cold and harsh? Does blue mean you sound like a tin can? There are several terms that you can use that will help an engineer specifically. Tinny is a good word. Tinny means you sound very high end. There's a lot of highs in your vocal. That's very tinny. Something sounds like I'm in a tin can. That's a good way to describe it. Muddy. Muddy is a good way to describe that you sound very mid-range. Like everything sounds just like the middle of the road. You sound like that. If you sound like Joe Cocker, say, I sound like Joe Cocker. If you've got a cold, tell the engineer you have a cold, that you got a stuffy nose, or you just got over laryngitis. He can help with things like that as well. If you sound bassy, boom, 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 really bass, like that, that's funny, right? Boom, boom. If you sound like that, tell him. Explain your sound. If you just say, I don't know, I just don't sound right. Even after they try to fix when you describe it, ask the engineer to come listen and then explain to them what you hear and talk it out with the engineer. A lot of times that engineer will stay at the front of the house and he won't come up, or they'll stay on the monitor position and won't come and listen to your monitor. Ask them to come over and listen, and be nice about it and say, could you come listen? I'm not understanding. I had a lady a while back who had in-ear monitors, and something was happening with her in-ears, and she couldn't understand what it was, so she asked me if I'd come listen. And I said I would, and I said, describe to me the best way that something's going on in your ears. And she said, when the band plays, it's like, it's all there. When I start singing, it just goes away. And that made me think there's a setting on her gate or compression that is set wrong for her ears. It's made for someone else's. So I listened to it. That's exactly what it was. We fixed the problem right away. But she was able to describe to me what she heard. So try to describe the best you can what you're hearing when something doesn't sound right. If you're learning this in the process, find an engineer or somebody with good ears. Start talking about your sound. Start visualizing your sound and how it sounds to you so that you can describe it to your engineer. That's all I have. Have a great day.